episode of Bay Area Boxing Talk. All right, so what are we going to talk about? All right, so we're going to talk about the current situation with Tank. We're going to talk about ESPN fights that happened this past Saturday. Then we're going to talk a little Shakur Stevenson, and of course, we're going to talk about the ongoing so-called negotiations with Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence. So I'll talk about that last. But let's begin. All right, so Tank, I think, is getting a little frustrated with Floyd because he told Floyd basically to be quiet and let him speak on his own behalf. And I kind of like that with Tank because I think Tank really wants to prove himself. And I think Tank is looking for the best fights out there. And I think that he's tired of being hovered up by, Mayweather Promotions, and he really wants to get the best fights out there. And I'd say good for him. For him that he said, let me talk on my behalf. Tank should have been did this. Tank says he gets to decide who he fights. So let's see. Now, like I said before, I'll take the Ryan Garcia fight, but I'd rather see him fight, Devin Haney or somebody like that. Maybe go back up to 140 and fight Teofimo Lopez. There's a lot of fights out there for Tank that can be made. You know what I'm saying? But people just got to put their egos to the side and try to make these fights. But it is what it is. So we'll see what happens with that. But let me talk about want to talk about the ESPN card. So Dog Bay gets past Joed Gonzalez, and basically a dog fight. At the end of the day, it was a really close fight. It could have went either way. Dog Bay won via split decision. I had Dog Bay pulling it off in a narrow victory. So, at the end of the day, Gonzalez came on strong towards the end, but I didn't think it was enough for him to secure the fight. I had Dog Bay winning that fight. So shout out to him. I'm not going to say he should fight Navarrete again. He just can't beat that dude. That's just the bottom line. Lost to him twice. And if I'm not mistaken, he was stopped twice. So, it is what it is. Okay, so let me talk about another fight that happened, with Gabriel Flores. I went to Gabriel Flores' gym in Stockton, met up with him and his father. And I just got to tell the truth about Gabriel Flores. There is something that is seriously missing with him. He hasn't got better, and I hate to say this. I mean, he got dropped like 3 or 4 times in that fight. I thought the last time he got dropped, he wasn't going to get up. Now, keep in mind, this dude that he lost to at the time only had 7 knockouts in 21 fights. So, this dude is not what you would call a big puncher. And I mean, not to mention, he got floored like 10 seconds into the fight with just a basic counter, and just dropped him. He hasn't, Gabriel Flores hasn't improved. He hasn't improved. And you just gotta keep it a buck. I suspect what it is, but at the end of the day, it's not my place to say it. Because I don't want to ruffle any feathers, because these guys watch our videos, and if you say something, they get mad at you and all this kind of stuff. But I have an idea of what it is, but I'm not going to say. And I just think Gabriel Flores just really going to have to look where he is now as a fighter. And he's going to have to decide for himself what he wants to do. Because like I said before, I can see him getting hurt really bad. Okay, I'm just going to be honest with you. If he can't hold up to dude's punches. Can you imagine what's gonna happen when he fight a dude that got some serious power? I could see bad things happening in the ring with Gabriel Flores if he don't work on some things. I could just see something real bad happening, and I don't want it to happen. I hope he don't get seriously hurt in the fight, but he's regressed. He hasn't got better in no way, shape, or form, and that's just the bottom line. So, that's unfortunate, but Gabriel Flores is gonna have to make some decisions about where he wants to go as a boxer, because he isn't a big puncher himself, and then if he can't handle, minimal power, I mean, can you imagine him fighting somebody with extreme power? You just can see something really bad happening. And like I said before, I met that kid, and and I just don't want to see nothing. I don't want to see him seriously get hurt in the fight, and I'm just keeping it a buck. Just got to tell the truth about these things. So, so let me move on from that. All right, so once again, Demetrius Andrade, bad career move after bad career move. Okay, sitting up there basically begging Chris Eubanks for a fight that we know Chris Eubanks is not going to take. Now, you've been hearing that he's been released from Matchroom, but that hasn't been confirmed yet to my knowledge, but I'm going to look into it. But boy, when you just look at what did happen to Demetrius Andrade's career at age 34, and like I said, god awful resume, just couldn't secure big fights to save his life. No matter whether you look at him as being to blame or other people being to blame, he just could never secure a marquee fight. He hasn't had a marquee fight in years. Just keeping it a buck, and I don't see Eubanks getting in the ring with him. I just got to keep it 100. So, All right, so let me get to the topic at hand, the big one, as Red Fox may. The never-ending so-called negotiations between Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. And like I said, I think everybody is getting frustrated with this. Lord knows I am, because you just not eating. And at the end of the day, I pointed out nothing but facts. Now people are basically speaking on an interview that Bob Arum did, I think with Fight Hype, where Bob Arum said basically piracy could be the biggest hurdle of this fight not getting made, because a lot of people is just not gonna want to fork out $70 for a fight of this magnitude, that they're gonna try to stream it and look at what other resources they can to get this fight for free without paying for it. So it's in the UK because they lowered the price. At the end of the day, Bob Arum could be onto something, but it still comes down to the back end money. That's what this really is about. What type of back end money you want to give both Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence, and what do you want to give them up front? And could they lower the price of the pay-per-view to sell more pay-per-views? Would they be willing to sell this pay-per-view for $49? Would both of these fighters be willing to put their egos to the side to try to give the fans what they want? But you hear all these rumors about how PBC fighters are paid, so you kind of wonder what's going on with Terrence Crawford. But that's not a half bad idea. Maybe you could sell this fight for $49. Because, back in the day, the reason why Oscar De La Hoya, what's going on? Why Oscar De La Hoya was successful at pay-per-views when he was selling 1 point this, that, 1 point this, 1 point that. Keep in mind, when Oscar De La Hoya was fighting, pay-per-views were like $49. They were $50. And they were what you would call, based off the economy and minimum wage was, that still wasn't that bad. Where this age and time, inflation has superseded, pay rates and all this kind of stuff. So $70 based off what gas is going for is just really expensive, and you have to wonder, do they want to fork that out? But I do think they could put that into consideration. Maybe try to sell the fight at a discount, because who knows? Let's just say you sell it at $49 a piece, and you sell like 2 million pay-per-views. That's still profitable. You still turn it in a profit. Because like I said, the biggest hurdle is them trying to figure out how they gonna pay everybody. But at the end of the day, I'm just gonna tell some truth. I'm gonna give y'all some truth serum. If this fight doesn't happen, man, real talk, the PBC comes out looking real bad. No matter how much the Errol Spence Simps try to cape for the PBC, because like I said before, the biggest hurdle supposed to had, been cleared, which was Terrence Crawford being with Top Rank. And see, now it looked like that was a smoke screen. Because like I said before, to the last, no fight date, nothing. They kick it in because like I said before, they been negotiating this fight for 7-8 months, and they have went nowhere with it. So like I said before, it makes you wonder what the hell is going on. It should take this long to negotiate a fight, but at the same time, this how a lot of them dudes on the PBC side was capping about they own boss and they could do this and they could do that. Well, like I said before, not really. It's extreme cap. These dudes was just talking out the side of their neck, you know what I'm saying, pump faking. Faking like they fit throw a deep ball down the field, but basically they call a running play. That's interesting. I said running play. But yeah, so like I said before, it just looked like to me that Terrence Crawford called the PBC's bluff and the Errol Spence Brigade's bluff, and now people are just reaching and people are trying to find a new excuse, and people just try to make Terrence the blame. This fight doesn't happen. This is all on the PBC and Al Heyman. Because nothing should have stood in the way for me. Well, 70 may be a little too steep for people right now. Like I said before, gas is so high, and even when Errol Spence had his last pay-per-view, gas was still a little bit cheaper. I mean, after that fight, gas just skyrocketed. So like I said, people may not have $70 now to fork out for gas. For a pay-per-view. You just have to say it. Like I said, it's been hurdle after hurdle, and the people that's providing and throwing up the most and keep pushing the goalpost back is the PBC. This is all on the PBC now. There's no Top Rank standing in the way of making this fight happen, or not making the fight happen. So Top Rank isn't in the way. But now, like I said, at the end of the day, a lot of people are starting to see with common sense what's going on with the PBC, that they've been doing a lot of capping. But they threw a lot of subliminals and a lot of hints that they wasn't really trying to make this fight. They said months ago, Well, they didn't know if they had the type of revenue to pay Terrence Crawford. This, like I said, this came out their mouth. They act like they don't, you know what I'm saying? They act like they really don't want to make this fight. So like I said before, it's only one group of people to blame if this fight don't happen. It's pretty much the PBC. Because they would have the sole promotion rights. They don't have to promote with Top Rank or Matchroom or Golden Boy. Y'all just seeing the truth now, and that's just the damn problem. Like I said, what happened to that I'm my own boss? What happened to all that stuff? Yeah, that's what I thought. Because people was capping. Like I said before, them dudes can't do nothing without the approval of Al Heyman. That's fact. So like I said before, Terrence Crawford has been quiet. You know what I'm saying? It's them that's always barking about, oh, well, we might have a date Wednesday, then Wednesday come, no date. Oh, we might have a date Friday at 1 o'clock, Friday, 1 o'clock come, still no announcement. Like I said, remember you guys, we are in month, let me see. So like I said, we 8 months into negotiations and still nothing has happened. I'm sorry that some of y'all can't understand the truth or don't want to see the truth, but like I said before, the Errol Spitz brigade is just running out of excuses now. They can't put this on Crawford. They're going to try to, but like I said before, the PBC, which is the lead promoter in this fight, it's coming down to them. So let's see what happens. But anyway, thank you for tapping in. This is your boy Tail Biz. I'm out.